Welcome to the navigation training mission. In order to successfully complete this mission, knowledge obtained during the taxi, takeoff, and landing training missions is required. Please pass those training missions first if you have not already done so. Before beginning this lesson, please get familiar with the commands listed below. Press spacebar to continue the mission. To complete this training mission, you will fly in adverse weather conditions from Kobuleti to Sukumi Airfield. The AN/ARN6 radio compass will assist us in this mission. This device is a navigational aid, which has an indicator on the instrument panel and a control panel on the right console. The radio compass can be used to determine the magnetic bearing of an NDB and fly towards it or away from it. The flight plan is shown in Figure 1 of the briefing, or left Alt B. Press spacebar to continue. The radio compass is supplied by the generator, which provides the required voltage only if the engine RPM is higher than 33%. Increase engine RPM a little bit until the generator warning light goes off. Since today is a cloudy day, use the rheostats on the lighting control panel to make the gauges more readable. Set the radio compass function selector switch to the comp or compass position. In this position, the combined signals from both the directional loop and the non-directional wire antennas are fed into the receiver, and the indicator will point to the station at all times automatically. Sukumi NDB is operating at 489 kHz. To be able to tune to this frequency, first set the frequency band switch to the 410 through 850 kHz range. Next, use the tuning crank to precisely set the frequency of 489 kHz. The exact value of the currently tuned frequency is indicated on the knee board, or right shift and K. The received signal strength is shown on a visual indicator, the tuning meter. Use it while tuning to match the receiver frequency as close as possible by tuning to a maximum deflection to the right of the tuning meter needle. The radio compass is tuned to the correct frequency when the tuning meter needle is deflected to a maximum and the correct call sign Morse code ..dash for AV is heard in the headphones. The radio compass indicator needle then points to the direction of the signal transmitter. Call sign volume can be adjusted from the control panel by rotating the audio volume control knob. The instrument panel with the radio compass correctly tuned is shown in Figure 2 of the briefing. Refer to the flight manual for another, more precise way of tuning by ear, when using the CW position of the CW voice switch. When the radio compass is correctly tuned to the required NDB, close the knee board with K and press space. Now enable external lighting and request taxi to the runway from the ATC. Turn on the navigation lights by setting the position and fuselage light selection to the steady or up position by right-clicking on it, or by pressing the key combination right-alt, right-shift. Set the taxi and runway to the ascend and on or up position by right-clicking on it or using the key combination left-alt, left-shift, and on. For communication with the AM, by setting the UHF power switch to the TR or transmit receive position. Use the UHF preset channel selector to select the preset channel of 7 corresponding to Kobaletti ATC. Use the mouse buttons or the keys, right shift and R, and right control and R. Open the radio menu by pressing backslash and request taxi to the runway. When permission is received, taxi to the left from the parking spot, take the runway and take off.
Kobaletti, in field 1-1, request taxi to runway. Enfield 1-1, Kobaletti, clear to taxi to runway 7.
To ease following a desired heading, for example the runway heading after takeoff, you can use the heading knob located in the lower left corner of the directional indicator, which rotates the heading scale. Set the desired heading and then keep the needle in the forward or 12 o'clock position. Take the runway and set the heading scale so that the heading needle points forward, and keep it in that position while taking off.
Capoletti, in field, 1-1, request takeoff. Capoletti, in field, 1-1, request takeoff.
Enfield 1-1, Capoletti, you are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QSE 29.86. Enfield 1-1, unable to clear for takeoff. Enfield 1-1, Capoletti, you are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QSE 29.86.
Follow the takeoff heading and climb. After retraction of the gear and flaps, do not forget to also retract the landing lights. To do this, set the taxi and landing light switch to the retract or down position by pressing left Alt, left Shift and L twice, or by left clicking the switch twice. Turn left to a heading of 340. Climb to an altitude of 4,500 feet at a speed of 350 knots. Do not fly into the clouds. Follow the heading of 340 at an altitude of 4,500 feet with a speed of 350 knots, or roughly 80% RPM. Keep your attention mostly on the attitude indicator and the vertical velocity indicator, variometer, indicating current rate of climb or descent. Inspect other instruments only briefly to control required flight parameters and correct engine operation. Set the value of 340, our current landing, under the triangle index of the radio compass indicator, located on the instrument panel by rotating the scale knob. The correctly set up indicator is shown in Figure 3 of the briefing. If you have difficulties piloting the aircraft and setting up the devices at the same time, you can use active pause mode, left Windows, left Shift, and pause key. Press spacebar when the radio compass scale is set up. To enter the landing glide path, it is necessary to maintain a heading of 340 and wait until the radio compass needle is close to the runway heading. Runway 30 of Sukumi has a runway heading of 290 degrees. The radio compass needle will slowly move to the required value of 290 degrees. 5 degrees before that, when the needle is at 295 degrees, gradually turn the aircraft towards the NDB. As a result, the radio compass needle will point exactly ahead at the triangle index on the top of the scale. The required position of the radio compass needle for starting the turn is shown in Figure 3 of the briefing. You are approaching the turn to the landing glide path. Maintain a heading of 340 and watch the radio compass needle. It should approach the 295 degrees mark. Determine the moment of starting the turn towards the NDB on your own. Maintain the flight direction towards the NDB. The radial compass needle points straight up. To communicate with Sakumi Airfield, switch the AM/ARC-27 to the second channel. Use the mouse or the keys, right shift and R, and right control and R. Open the radio menu, enter the ATC submenu, press the button corresponding to Sakumi, and request inbound. Press spacebar as soon as an answer from the air traffic controller is received.
Sakumi, in field 1-1, inbound.
Airfield 1-1, Sakumi, fly heading 299, 426, QFE 29.88, runway 30, to pass altitude.
You have received the local airfield pressure, or QFE, from the air traffic controller. Use the reference pressure adjustment knob on the barometric altimeter to rotate the pressure scale and enter the value of 29.89 given by the ATC. To do this, use the mouse or the keys right control, right shift and A, and right control, right shift and Q. A correctly set up altimeter is shown in figure 4 of the briefing. Press space when the altimeter is set up to the pressure of the landing airfield. Reduce engine RPM to 65%. Extend the air brakes by setting the speed brake switch to the out or aft position, and gradually descend to an altitude of 2,000 feet. Prepare to extend the landing gear and flaps. The airspeed is reduced to less than 185 knots. At a speed of less than 185 knots, extend the landing gear, flaps, and the landing light by pressing left Alt, left Shift, and O twice, or right-clicking the switch twice. Increase engine RPM to maintain a speed of 170 knots. Runway 30 of Sakumi has a runway heading of 290 degrees. In a perfect landing approach, when precisely following the heading to the NDB, the aircraft heading matches the landing heading. If flying towards the NDB and the aircraft heading is higher or more than the runway heading, you are flying to the left of the glide path required for landing. turn to the right of the NDB and fly towards the landing heading. Turn back towards the NDB and check if your heading now matches the landing heading. In case your heading is less than the runway heading, you are flying to the right of the glide path. In this case, turn to the left. When visual contact with the runway is established, or following the ATC command, start descending with a vertical speed of not more than 1,000 feet per minute.
Enfield 1-1, cleared for visual, contact tower.
Tacoma, infield 1-1.
Decrease
Request
airspeed
landing.
to 140 knots for landing.
Tacoma, infield 1-1. Request landing.
Enfield 1-1, Tacoma, cleared to land, runway 30.
After overflying the NDB, the radio compass needle will point in the opposite direction, indicating that the aircraft is now flying away from the transmitter.
Enfield 1-1, go around, runway occupied.
The aircraft is damaged. Note your mistakes and try once again. You can make it.